Like any good football program, St. Joe had suffered through a period of less than memorable seasons towards the end of the 20th century. However, possessing a beautiful new campus in vibrant Madison, as well as its always present academic excellence, the school was poised to renovate and restore its proud football tradition. This reclamation project was appropriately kicked off by none other than Coach Bill Rayfield at a local barbecue restaurant fittingly named The Pigskin.
And I was very, very fortunate to, Coach Rayfield hired me at St. Joe. He had come back as the athletic director to try to maybe get them going at their new campus and when they moved to Madison. And I was very fortunate to get to know him very, very well. What a gentleman. Coach Rayfield told me at that time, I never will forget it, he said, "Now, you've had some challenges in coaches, but you're fixing to have the biggest challenge you've ever had." St. Joe had not won a district game in, I think, 5 years, and I don't know what drew me to St. Joe, and it just was a place that I just thought that would be a good place to come for the final years of my coaching career, and it proved to be just that.
When I first got to St. Joe in 2006, August 1st, we had 25 show up for football practice, but we had 50 on the team. They didn't practice. And on Tuesday morning, I thought, Coach Godfrey was gonna come unglued. It was, we're gonna practice, and you don't miss practice, and this is what we're gonna do. And it took a little while to get that thought process out of a lot of people's heads. But that was not the way Coach Godfrey was gonna run things at all.
Coach Godfrey's demand for excellence was aided by a strong nucleus of returning players and, strangely, by the landfall of Hurricane Katrina.
In 2005, that was the Katrina year. We were pretty good, really good players. They were going to be seniors. We had a good nucleus, and then we, in September and August, I guess, when Katrina hit, we got an influx of Katrina kids. Some of them very, very good players. St. Joe's success rate, or their line that they marked their success, was just winning 3 or 4 games at that time. And our first couple of years at St. Joe, we got to the playoffs. In 2005, we were the number 2 seed out of our district, and we ended up getting beat in the first round. And in the next couple of 3 years, we made the playoffs, never won a playoff game.
I became involved, I guess, in the resurgence of St. Joe football when my son, Andrew, started to play for Flip Godfrey. And we started to see a building excitement. We still didn't have the breakthrough immediately, but we started to see more people coming out for the football team.
As expectations began to rise within the football program, excitement spread throughout the student body, and a number of other supporting student programs were either born or revitalized.
Ever since the football team really came into a new light with their new head coaches, the band, Spirit Steppers, and other groups or other divisions of the sports at St. Joe have really grown.
On a Friday night, you have an environment where you have the marching band, you have your cheerleaders, and of course you have your football team. Our class size at St. Joe is usually about 70 members per class. Normally you look up in the stands and you don't see that many students, let's say in a junior class or senior class, because most of them honestly are participating in one of those extracurricular activities, whether it be the band, whether it be cheerleading, or whether it be the football team.
It is not a traditional band where you hear, classical stuff. They jam it up, they ham it up, they take new age stuff and rock. Ronnie Russell does a great job with the band.
Bruin Broadcast is a rather new addition to the St. Joseph Schools sports department. Bruin Sports Radio is completely student-run, which makes it really stand out from the other schools around us, like Madison Central or Brandon. At St. Joe, it's all about the students. We come in, we set it up, we do all the talking. We have our own people who do stats and bring us, what's happening in the game. And I'd say that really makes us stand out because throughout the state, we're really the only school that broadcasts completely student-based.
Creates quite an experience on a Friday night at St. Joe when you have your marching band, you have your cheerleaders, and you have the football team. And the environment at St. Joe has just grown and become more electric over the last several years.
It's now a lot more fun. It's a lot more energy there. There's a lot more momentum going into each game.
By the time the 2011 season arrived, Godfrey had assembled enough talent to rival Rayfield's famed 1972 team that toppled mighty Murrah.
We had come through the regular season 10-1. Only game we lost was in double overtime. Had a great season going, but we still hadn't won a playoff game.
In 2011, we opened the first round of playoffs at home versus Lumberton. That year, Lumberton had moved up to 2A, but they were the defending 1A state champion. We were losing 17-6 or 17-8, two-score games at halftime. And we come back and win 18-17, and you would have thought we won the Super Bowl. It was the first time since 82 or 3 that we had won a playoff game at St. Joe. And that game really made people say, St. Joe might be on a turning point. You know, they might be, but let's take a look. Next week, we beat Mize.
These guys not only know how to win, they expect to win because the tradition is there now. Guys going deep into the playoffs year after year under Flip Godfrey. They know what to expect when they get out there on their field because the guys before them, the juniors and seniors that are now gone, have taught them how to win football games. And it's apparent when you go out there. Guys are not just, kind of running around, hoping that they make the play. They expect to make the play. And they're on each other when that person isn't where they're supposed to be, playing that assignment football. Guys are really out there trying to make a difference for their team, and it's obvious when you go out there and see them play on Fridays. And whereas it used to be St. Joe was a homecoming opponent, now you don't want to see St. Joe.
The numbers, people started to stay on the team rather than quitting their junior or senior year. All of those were elements that I believe started to say St. Joe is back and it is experiencing a resurgence in its football team, and it led to very successful seasons over the last 2 or 3 years.
The last 4 years, we've won 40 games, so it's something that, I guess in my coaching career, one of the proudest things that we did was when we got to St. Joe and not only turned the football program around, we turned the athletic program around. St. Joe has won the All-Sports Trophy for 6 years in a row now. That's kind of how athletic programs are measured in the Mississippi High School Activity Association. We're very, very proud of that. Very, very proud of the people that we hired and just the atmosphere at St. Joe, and it's been a lot of fun.